Luxury, right? How we usually define it is by how much noise it makes or how much attention it actually grabs. But Volvo tends to think differently. This right here is the all-new Volvo ES90 Ultra. And it's big. It's loaded with tech. It charges fast with range for days. And it's not trying to be a supercar, it's trying to be the ultimate injection of calm in an overstimulated world. Let's take a closer look. Right here, we're looking at Volvo's new electric flagship. It's a 5-meter long statement of Scandinavian minimalism, similar to the taller EX90. Designed to take on the likes of the BMW i5 and Mercedes-Benz EQE. But here in South Africa, where range anxiety and charging infrastructure are always the first topic of conversation, I wonder whether a luxury electric sedan really makes sense. Built on the same SPA2 platform as the EX90 SUV we reviewed recently, the ES90 is a big car. At 5 meters long, with a massive 3.1 meter wheelbase, it has a serious road presence. It sits a bit higher than a traditional sedan, almost like a crossover fastback hybrid. Right then, let's talk about the face. Volvo has moved away from the traditional grille for a body-colored shield that's incredibly aerodynamic. The body color, what we have here is a striking Mulberry Red paint. If it's too conservative for you, you can either choose from Aurora Silver, Crystal White, which has a pearlescent effect, Onyx Black, Vapor Grey, Denim Blue, or even Sand Dune. Elsewhere, the stars of the show are these, the HD Pixel LED headlights. They still feature that iconic Thor's hammer design, but it's actually next generation technology. What you get in here is 20,000 pixel modules. What that essentially means is that when there's a car in front of you, the pixels rearrange themselves to block out a part of that vehicle so that the lights don't actually blind the passenger or the driver coming in front of you. But it's still giving you that ultra high beam that you need, especially when you're driving at night. It's quite cool and tech savvy. And moving to the side, our test unit is sitting on these massive 21-inch 5-spoke aero alloys. They feature glossy black inserts that contrast perfectly with the Mulberry Red paint. The rear is just as striking. The light's signature warps around the D-pillar down across the tailgate, giving it a wide, planted stance. It's a fastback design, so it looks sleek but remains massively practical. Because it's a fastback, the boot opening is huge. You've got 446 liters of space, and if you fold the seats down, that jumps to over 1,400 liters. And up front, there's this 27-liter Frunk. It's slightly smaller than the one in the EX90, but it's ideal for storing away your charging cables or any other items that you really don't want to put in your boot. I don't know why, but there's space for it. When the door handles pop up and you step inside, the Ultra name starts to make sense. These doors are power release and soft close, which adds a little bit of sophistication. These seats are incredible. In the Ultra, you get ventilated Nordico upholstery with a massage function. It's a sustainable material, but it feels as supple as any premium leather. The comfort is top tier. It's designed for the long drives between Joburg and Durban, and if you dare, Cape Town is possible too. Then there's this electrochromatic panoramic roof. There's no physical blind. Instead, you can adjust the tint electronically from the screen by pressing a button. It can go from completely clear to a deep shade to keep the sun away. But the luxurious stuff is not just reserved for the front passengers and the driver. Even here at the back, there's a lot to go around. There's ample legroom here for myself. The seat isn't exactly my driving position, so you can see the legroom left, which is quite decent. But not only that, there's also this executive piece over here, which is the armrest. It's quite a nice feature, and especially when you have it down like this, what you have is ample space here for all your mobile devices. Like now you can just pop in your phone in here, and then when you press the special button, it opens up this wooden finish to reveal two cup holders. which is actually quite nice, and they actually pop up here, which gives it a bit of a premium effect to that. But also the seats here at the rear actually recline back just to give you a little bit more relaxation if you really want it. So it's quite a decent place to be in, and I quite like it at the back here. The tech here is massive. You're looking at a 14.5-inch high-resolution center display. It's the heart of the car, powered by NVIDIA chips that make it faster than most tablets and about 1.5 times faster than the latest iPhone. It runs Google built-in, so Google Maps, YouTube, YouTube Music, and Spotify are native. You also have a 9-inch driver display behind the steering wheel and a massive 13.2-inch heads-up display that projects your speed and navigation directly onto the windscreen. Everything here is lightning quick, though you'll need to get used to controlling the climate and even the glove box through the screen. A slight warning though, and it might be frustrating to some, but pretty much everything that you need to control inside the car, from your mirrors to the position of the steering wheel, is inside the screen. While it's blistering fast, you might want to set your preferences before you drive out of your driveway. Now, once you've settled into those massage seats and finished marveling at the screens, there is one more piece of technology in this Ultra cabin that you have to experience. This is the Bowers Wilkins high-fidelity audio system. We are talking about 25 high-performance speakers and a staggering 1,610 watts of power. It's fully integrated with Dolby Atmos, so if you're streaming from Tidal or Apple Music, the sound doesn't just come at you, it lives in the space around you. And when it comes to safety, our unit doesn't have the LiDAR hamper which first debuted on the EX90, or as you would have seen from Volvo's press material. However, this unit is still packed with Volvo's safe space technology. Here you get a 360-degree camera system that is crystal clear, pilot assist for semi-autonomous highway driving, and a driver understanding system that monitors if you're distracted or drowsy. It's a protective bubble even without the roof sensor. Another element about safety isn't just about crashes anymore, it's about ethics. There's a QR code in the door called the battery passport. When you scan it, it tells you exactly where the lithium and cobalt in your battery came from. It's a level of transparency we haven't seen in our market before. Now, the big question, which is range. Volvo claims up to 755 kilometers on the WLTP cycle. Even with real-world South African highway driving, this is a Joburg-to-Durban car on a single charge. It features an 800-volt system, meaning if you find a DC fast charger, you can go from 10% to 80% in about 25 minutes. And for the local buyers, Volvo is including a GridCars wall box with installation and 2 years of free public fast charging. That's a massive win for ownership peace of mind. Let's put that into a real-world context. Imagine you're road tripping from Joburg to Kimberley on the N12. You'd likely stop at the zero-carbon charge station in Wolmaranstad. This is a fully off-grid solar-powered site. Their ultra-fast chargers are designed for exactly this kind of car. While a standard EV might be sitting there for an hour, the ES90 Ultra can utilize its peak DC charging speed of up to 300 kilowatts. At a site like Wolmaranstad, you can go from 10% to 80% in about 22 to 25 minutes. That is literally just enough time to head over to the Farm Flair stall, grab a coffee and a snack, and by the time you're back, you've added over 500 kilometers of range. Right, so let's see what it's like to live with a ES90 on the road. Well, the first thing that you notice is the noise, or rather the lack thereof, because this car is deathly quiet. Because what Volvo have done here is they've applied some lamination on the windows, and then you also get so much insulation that it blocks out the entirety of the outside world. Essentially, what you will hear is also, when the car is quiet and there's no music playing, will be people talking, but also just a fraction thereof, really. Now, because we're in the Ultra trim, this car has the adaptive air suspension. And essentially what you get is pretty much a twofold situation. If you see what I did there, because twofold, yeah. Anyways, what you get is, first up, is it's very wafty and lofty, which is really nice. You get this cloud-like feeling when you're driving the ES90, especially also when it comes to rolling bumps or humps on the road. It handles those with such precision, and it also helps you, especially when you're coming to bends, because this is a heavy and a long car. It handles all of that beautifully. Then secondly, it's the small stuff, and by small stuff I mean these 21-inch wheels. While they're perfect, when it comes to the more jittery stuff, especially the uneven road surfaces that you get in our country, that's when you really tend to feel it struggle a little bit. It's not necessarily a bad thing because it's a road surface, it has nothing to do with the car, but that's when you really get a feel of what's going on in the world out there. I'm just pointing it out because you will notice it, especially on those uneven surfaces, of which I think it could be a little bit better. But again, I won't hold it against the ES90. And then when it comes to power, what you get here is 245 kilowatts instant from the motors in this vehicle. And then 0 to 100 here comes in just 6.6 seconds. Again, this is not a performance car. It's more of a luxurious sedan more than anything, electrified at that. So the power is instant. You can still cruise if you want to. And then when it comes to corners, this car really dips and hits them beautifully. But also you get to feel the 5-meter length of this vehicle, especially if the corners are super tight. Again, the car is not at fault because it was meant to be more of a luxury cruiser more than anything. Now let's talk money. This range-topping Ultra model we're testing here will set you back 1,795,000 Rand. And financing it through a partner like Westbank with a zero deposit over 72 months at a prime lending rate of 10.25% brings your monthly installment to approximately 33,450 Rand. And beyond the monthly installments, Volvo has really de-risked the switch to electric. The ES90 comes standard with a 5-year 100,000 kilometer warranty and maintenance plan. But the real kicker is the 8-year battery warranty. But again, if you don't need the massage seats or the air suspension, the range of the ES90 actually starts a bit lower. It starts with the core at 1,590,000 Rand. It's still a great place to be, but you will notice what's missing. In the core, you lose the air suspension, the 360-degree camera, and the soft closed doors. You also get standard LED lights rather than the clever HD pixel tech we have here. And the audio is a standard setup rather than the high-end systems. Then there's the Plus, coming in at 1,655,000 Rand. It adds things like the heads-up display and air purifier, but it still lacks the flagship Ultra luxuries. You don't get the ventilated or massage seats, the electrochromatic glass roof, or that incredible 25-speaker Bowers Wilkins sound system. Most importantly for South African roads, the air suspension is an optional extra on the Plus. But how does it stack up against the competition? Because at this price point, you've got heavy hitters to consider. First up, it's the BMW i5 eDrive 40. It's the athlete of the group. It's priced slightly higher at 1,812,000 Rand. You get 250 kilowatts of power, but the range is lower than the Volvo, sitting around 580 kilometers. It's a choice if you want a sharper, more driver-focused feel, but you're sacrificing quite a bit of range to get it. Then there's the Mercedes-Benz EQE 350 Plus. This is the Tech Fest. It's priced around 1,728,000 Rand. It offers 215 kilowatts and a very respectable range of over 600 kilometers. It's all about that hyper-screen interior and futuristic vibe, though some might find the pebble-like design a bit polarizing compared to the Volvo's classic lines. And finally, for those looking at the extreme end, there's the Audi RS e-tron GT. Now, this is a bit of a different beast entirely. It's a supercar in a suit with over 440 kilowatts, but it carries a supercar price tag of over 3.5 million rand. It's gorgeous, but it's double the price of the Volvo. So where does that leave the Volvo ES90 Ultra? Honestly, this is an electric car I'd recommend without hesitation. When you look at the value proposition, it's hard to beat. For 1.8 million rand, you're getting more range than the BMW and a more comfortable lounge-like interior than the Mercedes. Volvo has found its sweet spot. It's not trying to be the fastest or the most aggressive. It's focused on the ride quality, Scandinavian luxury, and giving you 755 kilometers of range confidence, which is a big deal for us in South Africa. But what do you think? Would you rather choose this or the i5 or even the EQE? I would love to know your thoughts. Please drop them down in that comment section. And before you go, please make sure that you are subscribed to the Twofold channel and you turn on those notifications so that you're the first one to know as soon as we release our latest content. From myself, Papi Mabele, and Gift behind the camera, thank you so much for tuning in. And up until next time, have a good one.